Your actions, both of you, throughout your life and throughout the events in this indictment, and throughout the criminal enterprise that you were a part of for many years, have left a trail of devastation, pain, and destruction that is almost incomprehensible. That two people could do so much damage to so many other people in so many ways. It does respect the jury's verdict. In this court's opinion, the jury's verdict was supported by the evidence, clearly supported by the overwhelming evidence of guilt as it relates to each of the defendants. The claims of ineffective assistance of counsel are not supported by the record.
The V-Knot gang was a violent street crew based in Syracuse's Southside, specifically in the Valley area, stretching north to West Newell Street. Federal authorities described the group as a territorial drug distribution gang that routinely used violence to enforce its dominance and defend its turf. By the mid-2000s, V-Knot became locked in a dangerous feud with the rival Bricktown gang. This conflict reached a deadly turning point on November 26, 2010, when V-Knot member Kahari Smith shot and deleted 18-year-old high school basketball player Kihari Blue on Interstate 81. The shooting shocked the city and was seen as one of the most egregious examples of escalating gang violence in Syracuse. Law enforcement officials labeled V-Knot one of the most violent street gangs in our city, citing their long track record of shootings, intimidation, and drug trafficking. On May 1, 2012, a federal grand jury in the Northern District of New York returned a superseding indictment charging 11 Volts non-members with racketeering conspiracy under the federal RICO statute. The indictment alleged that, between 2003 and 2012, the defendants conspired to engage in a broad pattern of organized criminal activity. Specific charges included the demise of Kihari Blue, at least 10 other shootings, 18 crack cocaine distribution offenses, 8 illegal weapons possession charges, multiple robberies and assaults, and witness intimidation. The government's case presented V-Knot as a structured and violent gang enterprise that thrived on fear, retaliation, and illegal drug sales. Each defendant faced up to life in federal prison, fines of up to $250,000, and terms of supervised release. Attorney Richard Hartunian said the group had poisoned our streets with drugs, violence, and all manner of crime, victimizing children and other innocent people. Key figures in the indictment included several high-ranking or influential gang members. Jeffrey Ghost Powell was the first to plead guilty in September 2012. Kenneth Jerome Jackson entered his plea in December 2012 and later admitted to firing an AK-47 into the home of a rival gang member. Riata Rico Travitt was the only female indicted in the case and also pleaded guilty in December 2012. Donald Johnson Jr. followed with a guilty plea in February 2013, and Nathan "Nate" King entered his plea in September 2013. Kahari Kiss Smith, who was responsible for the deletion of Kihari Blue, pleaded guilty on September 19, 2013, eliminating the need for a high-profile trial that had been scheduled for the following month. Kenneth Jackson was sentenced to 92 months, approximately 7.5 years, while Donald Johnson received 108 months, 9 years. Habakkuk H.B. Nickens, another key figure who had played a central role in the gang's violent operations, was sentenced to 240 months, 20 years in April 2014. Prosecutors presented evidence showing that Nickens had driven the getaway vehicle used in the murder of Kihari Blue. Kahari Smith, the shooter, was awaiting sentencing at the time of the last reports and faced a potential life term. In court documents and sentencing hearings, judges emphasized the defendant's repeated engagement in violent acts, including shootings and drug trafficking. For instance, Jackson was found to have fired 22 rounds from an AK-47, and Nickens was confirmed to have facilitated the gang's ambush attack on a rival. Following the indictment, the legal proceedings advanced steadily. By late 2013, all 11 defendants had pleaded guilty. Jeffrey Powell's plea was the first, and Nathan King's plea was announced as the 10th. Kahari Smith was the final defendant to plead, acknowledging his direct role in the 2010 highway deletion. The absence of a full trial was considered a legal victory that spared victims' families the emotional toll of lengthy court proceedings. In their admissions, each defendant acknowledged participation in various acts of violence, drug trafficking, and other crimes listed in the indictment. The impact of the case extended beyond the courtroom. In 2016, former gang member Habakkuk Nickens, now serving a 20-year sentence, helped organize a community balloon release titled Gone But Not Forgotten to honor victims of gun violence. The event drew local leaders and residents alike, including Syracuse City Councilor Helen Hudson, who spoke about the lingering grief and trauma felt by families in the community. Hudson emphasized the emotional burden of generational violence, stating that many residents carry so much anger. "We don't even know why we carry it." Grassroots groups such as Mothers Against Gun Violence and OGs Against Violence used the event to promote healing and call for unity. In the eyes of many, the V-Not indictments marked a step toward restoring peace, but the community also recognized the need for continued investment in prevention, support, and healing.